Okay, it sounds like it's working. Hey, welcome back. It's been a while. Yeah, it's been. Let me check. It's been since August. August, yeah. Is that a while? I think it's a while. It's been a while. It's been about a month and a half. But it's okay if I'm not very loud when I'm talking. I don't want to. Well, I don't need everyone around me to hear it. I don't want to be that asshole who is super loud and everyone on the floor can hear. But sorry about that. It's been a while since I've been able to talk. Work and school, man. Work and school. But you know a lot of what's happened. I don't need to tell you the news. I'm not a reporter. I might bring you the news and the tunes, but you know what? You know the news. You heard the tunes. Let's get into the real meat and potatoes of the week. Let's talk about something that I had fairly recently, job interviews. Finding a job is like finding a new relationship. You cast a very wide net, and you probably shouldn't pick the first you hear from. And like relationships, I'm desperate enough to ignore the last piece of advice I just said. Yeah, you know what? I've had both crummy jobs and crummy relationships. But, enough about love. You don't need love to survive. It's money you need. Let's talk about jobs. And we're not talking about the blowing kind. Job interviews, they always suck. But it's something you have to do at some point. The first thing I will never get is what counts as appropriate clothes to wear. I've shown up in a suit and tie for a job stacking produce. I mean, I got the job, but they didn't seem too picky, seeing who else worked there. That might have been a rookie mistake, but I don't want to be perceived as a bum on the first impression. But in this current economy, they should just be lucky I'm wearing a shirt. After putting on the clothes, I always worry about what time I'm gonna be there. That's why I try to get there super early, all thanks to my time anxiety. But you know what's more stressful than that? Showing up so early that the boss isn't even ready yet. You don't know who to talk to about the interview, so you're just standing there like an old Navy mannequin. Well, eventually you find someone and can actually get the show on the road. Then the interview begins. Nothing scares introverts more than the first question you hear every single time. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Well, you better have something good lined up. Did you graduate recently? No? Well, tough. You gotta think of something. Every second of silence doubles your chances of getting rejected. And then you die. Next, they play memory games with you. When was the time you had a problem at work and had to imitate an Avenger? I don't know that. My therapist tells me I shouldn't dwell on the past. It's only in the now. This would be a perfect time if I were a liar. But I'm not. Can you imagine how better this would be if I were good at lying? I'm not a liar, though. This section is perfect for people who tweet about their kids. My 5-year-old called a Trump supporter a pee-pee-poo-poo head and everyone stood up and clapped. That we know nothing that they just tweeted was real. Your kid was the one who ate paste, and, well, that's okay, but please, don't lie about it and make them look good. The whole thing goes with interviews. You gotta lie. You lie because you were the one who ate paste. You've got no brain cells, but that's what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do, man. And then they ask you about the schedule. I might be free anytime, but I'll be damned if I have to work a third shift every single day. For every regular person working then, there are probably like 3 of the weirdest people you'll meet. They speak this weird, different language in the night shift called crackheadese. It's a mix of Romanian and Gollum talk. No coffee or garlic cloves can keep you safe from them. I don't work when I sleep. I sleep when I sleep. Otherwise, I sleep when I work. Yeah, if I sleep when I work, I'd get in trouble. But after that humiliation, he didn't really have a clear answer to a single one of those questions. The best he can do is offer like a 5-minute story that didn't go anywhere. Next comes the scary part. You'll hear from us in the next few days. Well, that's just fantastic. It's a professional way of saying, I'll think about it, or someday. You're not getting the job. Tough luck, kid. That's why you apply to multiple jobs. The next year you might not suck as much. But, it's still gonna suck. Why wouldn't it? You got no real skills, not enough experience. You're too knowledgeable to be useful. I'm sure Hemingway felt the same way when he applied to McDonald's. All I need to do is write a book like Hemingway, and then there you go, I've got my happy ending right there. Okay, to be completely honest, I've never been rejected from a job interview before. Yeah, well, then again, look at where I've applied. I've applied to like grocery stores and whatever. They're not going to turn me down and count that. Who's going to work there? Granted, it's been a while since I've worked in a grocery store. But still, if you hear the same stupidity over and over again, it won't seem as stupid, right? Wrong. There's pretty stupid things that I've heard that just stay stupid. I give it thought, and it makes me seem smart. My accomplishments are not proof of my intelligence. The proof is seeing how other people are even stupider than I am. Take the Flat Earth Society. They believe that the Earth is flat. You might think that the world is round, but that's what they want you to think. It's the only time blaming globalists actually makes sense, because it's a globe. Here's the issue with their reasoning, though. As early as ancient Greece, they determined that the Earth was not only round, but they also had a reasonable estimate of its circumference. So when it came time to Columbus discovering America, he just thought that Asia was big and the Atlantic was just wide. If you have a problem with that, blame Marco Polo. It's his fault no one knew the true size of Asia. But there is one stupid idea that I've heard normal people express. It's not a conspiracy, but it's just the stupidest one. People try to blame our current system because we need to work in order to survive. Here's the dilemma, though. What system doesn't make you work? I agree that wages have gone stagnant. But is it the fault of capitalism that you have to work? Let me tell you this. How did the Soviet Union industrialize? The Soviet Union was a very communist country. They didn't like the capitalist pigs that I am and other people are. They didn't have high-tech machinery, money, or food. They had men that worked so hard they died. After millions of deaths, they became a bit of a superpower. But I guess it's because people had to work. It wasn't real communism. The day real communism happens is the day up is down and lemons are peaches. So of course we have to work to survive. Under an agrarian system, we had to grow wheat to make our bread. Gluten allergies didn't exist, but if they did, they could just trade their wheat for berries. Even without money, you can see dependence upon other people in order to survive. Specialization is one focus that makes everyone more productive. But if you think you're being oppressed by capitalism, why don't you try a life of anarcho-primitivism? Return to monkey. If our ancestors could do it, maybe you can too. You can hear great conversations like, "Ugh, what you doing in Big Cave? Oh, me don't want to hunt, Borg. Me want to draw painting on wall. But, Org, if we don't kill mammoth, how can we eat? I don't know, Borg. No ethical consumption under primitive nomadic lifestyle." Hear me out. You might hate ringing up orders at Denny's, but you'd rather worry about paying your phone bill than get eaten by bears. Life sucks, but now there's life after 30. That's why you have to take the good with the bad. Being alive, but suffering, is still a better life than death and being dead. Okay, I hope that makes sense at all. Probably not. But hey, if you've listened to any of my episodes, you probably know that I'm going to talk about dreams eventually. It's kind of a recurring theme. Plus, it's been about a month and a half since I've done an episode, so I've got dreams to talk about. Well, in this case, I'm just going to talk about one. We don't say normal anymore. Society's progressed past the need to say such a word. Why? Because my normal is different from your normal. Because I can't think unless I'm dreaming, and I'll just give you an example of a dream I had, which was just a showcase of that. It started out normally. I was in a restaurant and I was a waiter. You know, this would have been a noble deed of me, because restaurants are way too understaffed right now. As much as people want to blame the unemployment checks, I beg to differ. Ask yourself, would you work in a restaurant? I'm sure you wouldn't. I sure wouldn't. You don't see me applying to Denny's with an updated resume and a cover letter of why I should work in such a prestigious institute. But this wasn't a Denny's in the dream, though. I worked at some local mom and pop place. It served regular meals, regular hours. In this case, it was lunchtime, and getting ready for autumn, they were serving stew. What I remember is I set a bowl down to a middle-aged man. He had a beard and was wearing one of those Irish caps. With a cap like that, you know he's got a full head of hair. Oh wait, no, he don't. He's covering it up. Probably because he's bald, but that's not the point. I guess there was a bit of a mix-up. I told him to enjoy the stew, and he replied, "Thanks, you too." I'd be damned if I didn't start eating it with him. It was just us, two grown men sharing a bowl of stew together. Not a date or anything. I just wanted some stew, I guess. I was just jonesing for a bowl of stew, so I decided this poor bastard had to be the one to take the check. Here's the weirder part. The soup was good. I remembered the soup being good. I felt like I could taste the dream, so I know I didn't have COVID then. There's just one problem with it. The potatoes were a bit cold, so I asked, "Hey, how are those potatoes doing? You think they're cold?" "No," that's all he said in a low, gravelly voice. Geez, I was only asking because we're eating from the same bowl. Isn't there like a pandemic happening or something? It never happens in my dreams. My dreams are happy. But this dream only lasted for like 5 minutes. It fascinated me though. I've thought about it for much longer than 5 minutes though. Of course, I needed to tell people about the dream the moment I woke up. I was met with the same reaction. "Sam, what is wrong with you?" Hey, those words don't bother me anymore. I've been asked what's wrong with me so many times. It's like I'm a guest on Dr. Phil. I'm sure it's probably because of the dream and the fact that I'm bothering people at 7 in the morning, but I still don't even know what's wrong with me. Here's another really strange part. I didn't understand why anyone thought the dream was weird when I first said it. I was just eating a bowl of stew with a complete stranger when I was supposed to be waiting tables. It's not like I was doing it for the money, clearly. I wasn't serving anyone else in the dream, and that's the weird part. If I eat his meal, does that mean it's half off? The man probably wasn't going to leave a tip, but he wasn't really making any effort to getting me to stop eating the meal he paid for. At no point did I realize, hey, maybe I shouldn't be eating his food. But as I said, he didn't stop me. He decided it was a perfect day to just share a meal with a stranger. And I guess I felt the same way. I can't complain about that. All I can complain about is how I woke up super hungry. And I don't know why. I just really wanted a bowl of stew. And speaking of crazy, I've got a crazy idea. How about you don't touch my things? What's yours is yours and what's mine is mine. If you think you can touch it, you're not that guy. Boundaries are important. And it's even deeper when it comes to privacy and electronics. I keep my phone with me wherever I go. First is to track my steps. Second is because I don't need anyone scrolling through my phone. Taking a picture of someone else's phone is one thing, but snooping is something that should be illegal. And that goes for you too, Apple. I'm not using your product for illegal purposes, so leave me the hell alone. Another thing that bugs me, beyond the phone, is the charger. Sometimes people ask me if they can use my charger. I give in to them and lend them my charger. Big mistake. Soon time comes when I have to use the charger. I say, "Hey asshole, give me back my charger." And here's something I'm told which makes 0 sense. What percentage are you on? What percent? I graciously handed you my charger. I didn't have to do that. If anything, I should have said, "Tough luck, bucko. You should have gotten your own." Besides, I try to be responsible when I'm charging my phone. For one, I try to get charged before doing anything important. And if I don't, then I try not to use my phone. Personal responsibility is discipline far too few people seem to follow these days. If I have a charger, why should I give it to you only for you to not return it? My charger, my choice. Okay, I might get a little bit of hate for this next one. It goes without saying that Taylor Swift is one of the most successful artists of the century. And also goes without saying, she's also one of the most pretentious artists, too. It's not meant to diss her or her music. Look, she's very talented, and I could never accomplish a quarter of what she has. She's worth something like $400 million, and I don't even have $400. She did something I could never do. Figure out a way how to not be broke. But after that first 100 million, you start to get a little bit full of yourself. She paid her dues by recording, touring, and being humiliated by Kanye. That's not even the craziest thing Kanye's done in his career, though. It doesn't break the top 10. Who remembers the VMAs incident when he made Life of Pablo? Well, no one remembers Pablo either, but it began the trend that people saying, I miss the old Kanye. And if you're thinking what I'm thinking, that means that Taylor hasn't experienced the worst of it yet. Worse than Kanye claiming he made her famous and claiming she didn't give permission. Kanye mentioned her in the first, when she did. Right now, you might start to feel bad for poor Taylor. But remember, she's not poor. $400 million. With that money, you could hire a team of counselors you can call any time of the day. And if that doesn't work, you can buy a city's worth of booze. And not just any city either, like a city in Wisconsin. A quarter of adults in Green Bay drink too much. And that's just the ones sober enough to answer the survey. For all we know, Wisconsin has two industries, bars and cheese. If you're wondering, there is such a thing as bar cheese. And if you think that's the most Wisconsin thing of all time, all I can say is, you betcha. But back to Taylor. She doesn't need your sympathy. She lost the rights to the recordings for her songs, which happens a lot actually. So like anyone who's smart in the music industry, she decided to re-record her whole back catalog. Who knows, maybe she'll get a private gig of someone who wants her to play something old and obscure. This is a super smart move because that means she doesn't have to worry about writing any new songs for a while now. All she has to do is record the song she's already done and just release it. That's fine. Here's my problem though. She's adding a set of parentheses at the end of the titles to let you know it's Taylor's version. Not the labels, but Taylor's. Here's what I really hate. Artists have been re-recording their songs for a while now. I've never heard anyone claim it's their version. They say re-record it or re-record it in stereo, and then they just sing the song. Typically not as well as they did originally, but it's no big deal. From what I heard though, Taylor's actually doing a good job with these remakes. If you're doing a good job, you don't need to add your name to the title of every single song on the new album, which you add your name to as well. It makes us think you're becoming your own Kanye. Now it makes us wonder, if she's her own Kanye, will she have her own little Taylor she can humiliate? Okay, we're gonna have a contest. Place your bets on who's gonna be the new Taylor. Will it be Olivia Rodrigo? Billie Eilish? I don't know. Place your bets. Place your bets. The winner gets their own version of Taylor Swift's song. Just a song. You can open up a Spotify one day and see Love Song Brandon's version. It'll sound just like the last version of Love Story, only you get to yell, I'm Brandon, after every chorus. Wouldn't that be great? All you have to do is guess who the next Taylor is, and you get to yell, I'm Brandon. Well, unless your name isn't Brandon, you just use your own name. Yeah, those Swifties, fans of Taylor Swift, if you will, they're real different. They're kind of scary. They're not quite the level of K-pop fans, and they're not quite Barbs. Oh boy, the Barbs, anyone who's still defending Nicki Minaj, I've got news for you. Can you just admit she's not that good? Her music's not that great. She sounds weird. She's like, that's how she sounds to me. She might sound different to you, but you might also be stupid. Plus, she's also said that weird stuff about her cousin's friend. That's starting to sound a bit like, I knew this guy, he knew this guy, he knew this guy. It's anecdotal evidence, you don't really need to take her opinion very well. But I don't think the mainstream media has to spend so much time talking about her. The young people who are fans of her, they're not going to CNN or Fox. They're going on Twitter. If you want to have your news go there, send your journalists there. Maybe they can learn to code. But when it comes to cable news, no one who's young is watching that. So why do you have to cover it so much? Also, Nicki isn't a doctor, her cousin's not a doctor, and her cousin's friend is not a doctor. It's all anecdotal evidence, and honestly, just get the shot, goddammit. I'm sick and tired of having to wear a mask everywhere. Sick of that shit. If I have to walk out of my room for just like 5 minutes, I have to wear a mask. It's the rules. And if I don't follow it, I'm gonna get written up. So, please, for the love of God, just get the damn shot. First one, second one if it's Pfizer. Johnson & Johnson, just get the one jab that doesn't work as well. Hey, the numbers say it's not as effective. Just get the shot, please, for the love of God. Get it so we can go back to normal, because I'm sick of this shit. I'd like to have it be, somewhat normal as I can be. Granted, the definition of normal doesn't really matter anymore since I told you about that. One more thing, and then I'm out of your hair. So, if you have listened to this podcast for maybe 5 minutes, I'm attempting to make it a funny show. I'm attempting to do comedy. I've written a lot of stuff down, and I just need to get it out there. It's been about a month since we've talked. It's about a month and a half. I've continued to write, not as fast as I have been, but I've been writing a little bit. If I think about something, I get inspiration, I'm going to type it up. But I'm going to actually tell you, because I actually got a chance to perform live. It was only about 5 minutes, which isn't a lot. I actually did a little bit less than 5. But it's good to have a first experience of doing a performance of stand-up. Granted, I haven't done public speaking very regularly in a very long time. I'll admit, I was super nervous. I did my stuff, another guy did his stuff. That dude, he's been performing and doing comedy for about 3 years, so yeah, he did a lot better than I did. And props to him. I don't think I'm allowed to say his name because I'm not sure if he has any recordings. Who knows? If he has some stuff, I'll share it. But if you're wondering what I talked about, I decided to do my rant on LaCroix because, LaCroix is god-awful. It's one of the worst beverages in the world. I'm not going to do the full routine right now. But I thought it was okay, given that it was my first performance, and I got some people to laugh. I don't think they were sympathy laughs either. I think they were legitimate laughs. So what I have is good. I just probably need to polish it out. I was talking way too fast in that, and I think I might just give you a little bit of an excerpt from it. Not the full thing because it's not all good, but how about a little bit? How about just a sample of it? A sample to kind of hear me talk in front of the live audience. Thank you.
So, I've got a little bit of theory. Not sure how scientific it is, but it's scientific to me. If you like White Claw or LaCroix, you have a triple taste in this as well. I mean, bad taste. I'll give you an example. That first person's family, they love LaCroix, practically worship it. They're like, this is a sparkling blood Christ. Yeah, it was terrible. And you know what else they like? They like some of the blandest music ever, like shit like a pentatonics. Like the last name 5 people who are wasting their talent potential. The pentatonics. Matter, it's the same people that listen to Bo Burnham's Inside every single friggin' day. It's like, it speaks to me. You know who should speak to you? A goddamn therapist, that's who. We're to listen to the same Broadway shows all the time. Look, Dear Evan Hansen. The blandest shit ever. They're gonna make a movie of that. The people don't even look like they're high school. They're looking at 30 or 40. They look like your kids go to high school, goddammit. God, it's terrible. No, it's okay. It's okay to be myself. That's a great message. Yeah, it's a great message. Not for you. Yeah, the problem with the 2 years old message is for like animals and cats and shit. Not you.